I am proud to create him Prince of Wales, Tywysog Cymru, the country whose title I've been so greatly privileged to bear.
Something just happened inside the walls of Buckingham Palace that nobody, not the press, not Parliament, not even the most seasoned royal correspondents saw coming at this speed. King Charles III, a man battling a still-active cancer diagnosis that has rattled the very foundations of the British monarchy, has just signed an extraordinary order. One that formally elevates Catherine, Princess of Wales, to the role of sole guardian of the crown jewels. Not shared guardianship, not ceremonial access. Sole guardian the crown jewels. 23,578 precious gemstones, including the breathtaking imperial state crown set with 2,868 diamonds alone, the legendary Cullinan diamonds, the historic St. Edward's crown, priceless orbs, scepters, and regalia that date back to 1661 are now officially in Catherine's hands. And the timing of this, that's where things get very, very interesting. Stay with us because by the end of this video, you will not look at the British royal family the same way again. The King's health. The clock nobody is ignoring. Let's start with the undeniable foundation of everything happening right now inside the palace walls. King Charles III is sick. Not in the vague, dismissive, he's getting older kind of way. We're talking about an actual cancer diagnosis discovered in early 2024 when Charles underwent what was supposed to be a routine procedure for an enlarged prostate. During that operation, doctors found something nobody expected: cancer. Buckingham Palace, as is its custom, declined to specify the exact type. What they did confirm was that it was not prostate cancer, which means something else was found, something separate, something that forced the King of the United Kingdom to step back from his public-facing duties almost immediately. 4 months, the world held its breath. Then, in December 2025, came a video message that Charles delivered on Channel 4's Stand Up to Cancer broadcast. In it, the King said, "And I want you to hear these words carefully. Thanks to early diagnosis, effective intervention, and adherence to doctors' orders, my own schedule of cancer treatment can be reduced in the new year." The world exhaled slightly. But here's the critical phrase that most headlines buried. Reduced, not ended. His treatment is being reduced. Not completed, not cured, not finished. His cancer, according to palace sources, is not in full remission. That distinction, that critical uncomfortable distinction, has filtered into royal briefings where insiders have described the king's health as, quote, precarious. Now ask yourself this. If you are a king who knows your health is precarious, what do? You protect the crown. The power transfer. Nobody fully understood. Let's rewind for a moment. Because the crown jewels announcement didn't happen in a vacuum. It is the latest and perhaps most dramatic in a series of extraordinary power transfers that King Charles has been quietly and now not so quietly executing. Here's what most people missed. In June 2025, in what royal journalist Richard Palmer called one of the most significant constitutional moves of the current reign, King Charles officially invited Prince William and Princess Catherine to become grantaires of royal warrants beginning in spring 2026. For those who don't know what that means, and most people outside the UK don't, let me explain just how monumental this is. A royal warrant is what the British monarchy calls the gold standard of endorsements. It is the official royal seal of approval. Since he ascended to the throne in 2022, King Charles himself has been the one to decide which businesses receive this honor. Him and Queen Camilla alone, nobody else. Until now, by inviting William and Catherine into this role, Charles did something no monarch has done with a Prince and Princess of Wales in living memory. He handed them real monarchical power ahead of schedule. And Catherine, she didn't just receive a new role. She made history in the process. Catherine, Princess of Wales, became the first Princess of Wales to grant royal warrants in 116 years. The last one, Queen Mary, and she held the title before 1910. Even Princess Diana, the most beloved Princess of Wales in modern memory, never had this power. Let that sink in. Not even Diana. But wait, if you think that's significant, what happened next is the part that sent shockwaves through royal circles. Before we go further, I want to ask you something directly. Do you think King Charles is preparing to step back from the throne, possibly for good? Drop your answer in the comments right now. Yes, no, or not yet. Because what we're about to tell you is going to inform how you answer that question. the tiaras, the jewels, and the message they send. In the world of royal monarchy, symbolism is everything. Every jewel chosen, every tiara placed on a head, every piece of regalia displayed in public carries a message. The royals know this, their dressers know this, their communications teams know this. Nothing is accidental. So when the Princess of Wales appeared at the German state banquet at Windsor Castle on December 3, 2025, wearing a tiara that had not been seen in public in 20 years, a tiara that had previously been worn only by queens, not queens-in-waiting, people who study the monarchy for a living stopped in their tracks. Catherine wore the Indian circlet, one of the most historically significant pieces in the royal collection. This is a tiara with deep roots in British royal history. It was a favorite of Queen Elizabeth, the Queen Mother. After her death, Queen Elizabeth II wore it only once at a banquet in Malta in November 2005. Then it went back into the vault for 2 decades until Catherine. Royal sources were not subtle about what the choice meant. A source told US Weekly at the time, "The message they are sending out is that the monarchy is healthy regardless of what happens with the king, regardless of what happens with the king." That phrase alone deserves its own moment of reflection. And the broader pattern is impossible to ignore. Over the past few years, Catherine has been steadily, deliberately, and with clear palace authorization, wearing pieces of the crown collection that have never before been worn by someone in her position. Tiaras historically reserved for queens, necklaces loaned from the queen's personal collection, brooches with centuries of royal history. Royal jewelry expert and blogger at the Court Jeweler noted that Catherine has over the past 15 years built an undeniable reputation for, quote, breathing new life into the crown jewels, making the oldest and most historic royal jewels feel youthful and contemporary. This isn't vanity. This is preparation. The crown jewels themselves, what she's now guarding. Let's talk about what is actually at stake here. Because many people think of the crown jewels as pretty trinkets kept under glass for tourists. They are not. The crown jewels are the single greatest working collection of royal regalia on the planet. They are housed in the Jewel House at the Tower of London, a fortress that has stood for nearly 1,000 years. The collection contains over 23,578 gemstones, and its monetary value is considered quite literally incalculable. Among the most significant pieces, the imperial state crown, the crown worn by the monarch after the coronation ceremony when processing out of Westminster Abbey. It holds 2,868 diamonds, 273 pearls, 17 sapphires, 11 emeralds, and 5 rubies. Within it sits the legendary Cullinan II diamond cut from the largest gem-quality rough diamond ever found. Also embedded within it is the Black Prince's ruby, a 170-carat red spinel with a history stretching back to the 14th century, and the Stuart sapphire linked to King Charles II himself. The St. Edward's crown, the actual coronation crown made in 1661, used only for the moment of crowning. King Charles III wore it at his coronation on May 6, 2023 at Westminster Abbey, the first coronation in 70 years. The sovereign's orb and scepter, symbols of divine authority and earthly power, respectively. The scepter contains the Cullinan Eye, also known as the Great Star of Africa, the largest colorless cut diamond in the world at 530 carats. The Koh-i-Noor diamond, one of the most controversial stones in the collection with origins in India and a history intertwined with empire and conquest. In January 2026, 3 new items from this priceless collection were put on display in the Crown Jewels exhibition at the Tower of London for the first time. Managed by historic royal palaces as part of the Royal Ceremonial Dress Collection. These are not just treasures. They are the physical embodiment of the British Crown's legitimacy, authority, and continuity. Whoever guards them guards something far more powerful than diamonds. And now that person is Catherine, the abdication whispers growing louder.